Good morning, everybody. Pastor Vicky has been preaching a series recently on how to be better neighbors, how to protect and defend and support the defenseless. And it made me start thinking about an instance where that was true in my life. Last week, she preached about adopting the orphan, whether officially or unofficially. And I had a time in my life where that actually happened, and I think about it a lot. So I wanted to share it with you. When I was a kid, I went to Cleveland School of the Arts, started in 5th grade. Cleveland School of the Arts is a school where you had to audition to be either in music or dance, drama, or visual art at the time. And you had to keep your grades up and participate in a whole bunch of things and stuff like that. And I went through, but around 7th and 8th grade, I started struggling to keep my grades up and to be involved due to a lot of home issues and things like that. In 8th grade, I missed all of my music concerts because I couldn't get there on my own, and my mother struggled to get me there as well. And I also failed 8th grade. I missed something like 57 days of school that year. So the policy of the school at the time was to, if you failed a grade, they basically sent you back to your school district, your public school, and that's what would happen. And that happened to kids all the time. Well, there was a teacher in my school named Mr. Woods. He's a doctor now. He's got his doctorate. So Dr. Woods was the director of the entire music program at CSA. And at the time when they were discussing who was going to leave and who was going to stay, my name came up because I was supposed to be sent back to my public school district because I had failed 8th grade. And I didn't know it, but Mr. Woods, he spoke up on my behalf at meetings and to the administration, and basically told them that I had nothing if I didn't have that school. If I didn't have the music program there, I didn't have anything. My home life was really, really bad, and that was the reason why I was struggling so much, and that kicking me out of the school was going to just do more damage to me. And so they let me stay, which was against their policy. They normally didn't do that, but because he spoke up for me, they let me stay, and I graduated from that school. I improved my grades. It was funny though, he wouldn't let me stay in choir after that. He said I needed to stay in the school, but just not in his program, because he needed people that were going to stick around. So they moved me over to well, they allowed me to pick. I tried drama, but I had already burned the bridge with the drama teacher with my mouth. I'm sure you're so shocked by that. So I went to the instrumental teacher, and he let me play probably the worst instrument in the entire place. But it was basically put to me, if I really want to be there, if I really want to stay, I'll do whatever they ask me to. And I did, and I improved, and I surrounded myself with a good group of friends, and that's around the time when I found the church that I ended up going to for the rest of my high school days, and the rest is history. But I sit here today doing this blog in a church, in Girard First United Methodist Church, in the position I'm in, largely due to the fact that Mr. Woods spoke up on my behalf. He knew that there was something in me, and he also knew that casting me aside because I was struggling and wasn't doing anything for them, that wasn't the right thing. He had nothing to gain by speaking up for me. I couldn't do anything for him. I couldn't really do anything for that school. Mr. Woods spoke up on my behalf because he knew that doing so was the right thing to do. It was the Christ-like thing to do. And there isn't a day that goes by when I'm doing something that I think is a struggle that I don't think about what he did for me that year, because he didn't have to do that. So as you go through and you're wondering what you should be doing, should you do anything? Can you do anything? Just remember, just being an advocate for somebody who can't do anything for you can have a huge impact. When this fall, start our hero reading team. This is exactly the kind of thing that you're doing. You are being an advocate and stepping in for people who can do nothing for you. But in the end, you might have an absolutely huge impact on their lives. I would not be here today if I had to go back to Cleveland Public School. If I had to go back to the public school system, I probably would have dropped out. I probably would have ended up dealing drugs or something like that. I'd be in jail or I'd be dead. So realistically, in a very real sense, you could say that Mr. Woods saved my life, he saved my future, and he allowed me to stay on a path that brings me here today. So if he ends up watching this, I say thank you, Mr. Woods, because you really probably didn't even know what you were doing, the kind of impact you were going to have. And to all the other people watching, especially if you're from Girard First, do the same thing. Speak out for somebody, be somebody's advocate, just be there for somebody and say, we can do more. We can do more for them. I hope you have a good day, and I hope this message hits home.